a year company be a friend Atlas Commodities Limited.
Okay.
Yakwa report this our company no to that particular police station, that is Jessica police station, because the regulations and I say Fmr CocoBOD ho bra any LBCs no so ho bra no sa company undi so and I say uni so. And one of them is that before sell by LBC no you need a warehouse that has been approved by CocoBOD before you can be a licensed buyer. And this
licensed buyers they why mo na CocoBOD mo muska mo koto cocoa le ba
na omo na CocoBOD mo muska mo koto cocoa no yede eba na sa company LBC na ntia menya ne say even national security ahomachi has been able to intercept cocoa sa company we ato or see a warehouse that has not been approved by CocoBOD. And no nama or makochi I want to intercept those cocoa no before some question about 2 of them has already left. And this matter is at the Jessica police station as we speak. It was through the Jessica police station that this receipt from Atlas Commodities Limited actually came. So it gave me an impression then who is behind this particular company?
Now receipts no where be on a day na also
way bill no Kajabi was the place of dispatch Kajabi crop year May that is 2025-2026
yes.
Vehicle number and the weight certificate number, that's the district destination baby at the end of register my port and a driver's name David J license number no na igusu hanum say and they did the number of bags and so
what track
no so mokoche no at the account that's about 800 bags but before then 800 cocoa bags before then that 2 trucks had already left because by the time national security for drew hono not 2 trucks na every ho but this particular one was arrested and I make say even the person that is the driver or trikani BBI also
okay
so it gave me an information say okay then why don't I even go behind to know who owns this particular company. I want to be shame here.
Na company near why there?
Senior, when him say the owner of this company is the deputy CEO in charge of finance and administration of CocoBOD.
CocoBOD deputy CEO.
Randiabi deputy CEO. That is Randiabi deputy.
Oh no, yeah.
The owner of Atlas Commodities Limited. Now let me give you.
And a company named LBC.
Company named LBC.
Moto cocoa ma CocoBOD.
Just a CocoBOD for the same muska mo to CocoBOD no.
Omo to cocoa no.
Sorry, to cocoa no. Now I have in my hands documents from the Registrar General's Department. I checked the ownership. In fact, there are about 5 owners. And that's 5 directors.
Okay.
And we have 5 directors now. And the first person no Ato Boatin.
Yeah, Ato Boatin.
Who is the deputy CEO in charge of finance and administration?
And your coincidence of name?
No. In fact, just do a simple Google search and I say AI search. In fact, don't see a buyer no. We're there to respect to my brother. Also, in Papa no, and so I mean, there's nothing new about it, and so they cannot even deny. In fact, I mean, me post to know there's been a number of comments from people, and I've also received a number of calls from people who are also in the industry who has seen this particular illegality going on. And let me indicate to you the illegality.
Okay.
Senior law school, you know the call here. Article 284. Is it 284 of the Constitution?
Yeah.
Which talks about conflict of interest. And let me try to read that before Ghanaians will understand what I mean. Article 284 says that a public officer shall not put himself in a position where his personal interest conflicts or is likely to conflict with the performance of the functions of his office. So what the framers of the Constitution actually sought to say, they say there need not be a wrongdoing. And just also watching the panels why born no answer. No, as soon as there's a perceived wrongdoing, there's a likelihood say officer no, it is enough for you to conflict yourself with Article 284 of the 1992 Constitution. So nobody should even come and make an argument say, oh, Papa Nenya and that's why ABB. No. And these are the reasons. The reasons are that a deputy CEO, finance and administration. And as I said, the law is that a CocoBOD for and a Bema LBC in this kind of money.
One are likely to pass through or not.
Yes, one hour Messica. When him say a CocoBOD, Randy Abbey, 4 years in Abit Miasono. In fact, 4 years in Besson who check.
Yes, possible.
Yes, because everything is signed by the deputy CEO,
finance and
absolutely. And it's a one who are in charge of finance of the CocoBOD. One company.
We are director
of that company.
And a company near an active LBC.
An active LBC. And in fact, if you go at the beneath of the Registrar General's report, you feel be BOP. That is beneficiary owners particulars.
Yes.
He is the sole owner of the Atlas Commodities.
The sole beneficial owner of the company.
The sole beneficial owner of the company. What that means is that, number one, apart from the fact say, one Jessica, anytime you are not LBC no Atlas Commodities Limited a lot of money for them to be able to buy the cocoa, even when you don't even have a warehouse or you don't have a warehouse that has been approved by a CocoBOD. That is one discussion. Another leg of the discussion that is also very serious and Miyama Shemi Obi NSA. Before the announcement of the 2,500 price, and I said the CocoBOD for no. So, your deputy CEO, in the absence of the board, I started the CEO when Timmy and board. In fact, most times the practice has been, I said the convention has been said, the deputy CEOs joins their CEO when they are going for board meetings. They are not voting members. So what that means is that you had an advantage of an information that there was going to be a reduction of the prices.
Insider
trading because that there was going to be a reduction of the price from 3,006 to 2,005. And to cocoa na papa we atobiano or ton ye and that's all Jimusika and sana the reduction. This is an assumption. I don't have any basis to it, but the Constitution says that when you put yourself at a place where there's a perceived
but will it be a cure, sir, in the because also the framers also contemplated, sir, there is a high probability, sir, obibetimi our a private life and some waba in public office.
Yes.
In Tibia in a private life now or yes our business no and waba in public office.
Yes.
And that's why the Constitution seems to and as our law also seems to give a room. Sir, the decision-making process, you can recuse yourself at that stage. In the same year, CocoBOD taking decisions on LBC say what's all money or more a year, Jumano. Say, Ebia on him say, okay, maybe we company me interest. It remain casa panel I be decided now. Match me who every mo, me declares our interest, then I match me who every man. Would you still fault him? In
fact, before semi confirm say the work can see now Obi what been do to the kind documents when I mention kind say the work can see infantile so that the Ghanaian people will even understand what is actually happening. In fact, just check section 10(9) of the CocoBOD Act. It talks about whatever you are saying here. It says that a director who has an interest in a company or an undertaking with which the board proposes to enter into a contract, or who has an interest in a contract which the board proposes to enter into shall disclose in writing to the other directors the nature of the interest.
The nature of the interest.
Now, in writing, the document the Ato Watino attempting to renounce the directorship in the company, and the date is September 2025 when he has been in office. And to share company of the man, that's the name. The company now, trusteeship now, the command, Legal Capital Management Limited. I foresaw all these questions, so I went behind to even find out from the Registrar General Department what has been done to the company document. What they have done, they say he attempted September 2025, which was approved that or the company no a trustee. What you are saying, but when you go down beneath it as well, you see that the BOP was also not changed. He is still the owner, the beneficial owner of Atlas Commodities. So what you should have done, and they say there should be proper trail of documents at the board, which I have been told that there is none, which the Registrar General Department document also shows say you were not ready to, as it were, renounce everything in terms of the shareholding structure of the business to actually show say indeed you did not have any interest whatsoever in the company.
Even if he did that, okay, because by 21st September 2025 and approval we buy
yes.
And there was a change in directors or secretary.
Yes.
A company with shares approved.
Yes.
That Atlas file annual return 15 July.
Yes.
Blah blah blah. And you are saying, sir, from what you know,
yes,
his application to want to change and I say take himself out of the directors.
Or the Akroma trustee.
Is there where he the trustee?
Or the trustee. But beneath it, no.
Beneath it, no. The beneficial owners. No?
Yes.
And the being that's all.
He sold the 100%. He had 100%. 100%. So he has attempted to, as it were, distance himself from the company, but he is still in charge of the company. Mind you, if you go and check the documents of the company and then even the history of the company, he has been a CEO of the company till date. Being a CEO doesn't mean when you're director.
I don't know his advice. Because once first, no, say offer company registration forms now. Any provision for beneficial owners.
Yes.
Into new amendment by the beneficial owners.
So they give particulars of sale.
Absolutely. In taking yourself out as a director is not enough.
It's not enough to distance yourself absolutely from the company. To distance yourself absolutely from the company. And so that's what I'm saying. Say, it is proper for the Straj and the special prosecutor
to look into it,
to investigate this matter.
Now,
so
what
1 o'clock here, and I'm a petition special prosecutor, and I must petition Straj.
And your way, your specific reliefs I will seek it from them. They say, if there is any conflict of
interest. And as I said, you don't even need to establish
for it to happen.
Conflict of interest. Yeah. But you should not put
the potential for it to happen.
You should not put yourself in that position as a public officer. And putting yourself in that position for anybody to even perceive, according to Article 284 of the Constitution, is enough grounds to hold your hands. NDC for minim se meni otu kono wa ha. Me be na mi so na wa ha, ka me ko pen some okafa data bank ho. Oforiata, when Oforiata had renounced his directorship with Data Bank in 2012, 2014, he was nowhere close any business whatsoever with Data Bank. He had supported every transactional businesses for MPP NDC, okay, even before say Obabe Minister for Minister for Finance. But when Oforiata was saying that there is nothing conflict of interest with Data Bank, supporting transactional businesses with the government and all that, these guys never listened. And then the same standards, the same threshold is holding them. The same standard and the same threshold. Even with Ken Oforiata, he had renounced himself and distanced himself absolutely very different from this one. See, in the next 1 week or two, I'll come back here. The kind of exposure I may show with these people, Bonnie or Motia Bemo or Mudi, CocoBOD, and the another sector. Sound Crofon no Mudia, then he is the one causing the mess for this government. I'll come back next week or next 2 weeks. I promise you. I promise you I'll come back. I promise your listeners, your viewership may say, I'll come back here next week or next 2 weeks. The people who are the apostles of this kind of communication, this kind of attacks on public servants, are the people who have been appointed as ministers today doing worse the things that they said when they were in government. I'll come back here. It's a promise I'm making to you.
Inti Eba say CocoBOD are responding after say What the better?
Minyanenti say Atlas Commodities person will respond.
Atlas Commodities.
Commodities for no person will respond. When you tell no person will respond.
No.
Around by 11 o'clock. In fact, the information I got was that they wanted to respond in the next 1 hour or two. They have not been able to respond because they have now seen the documents, documents. Then they said no, the guy has not distanced himself absolutely. So I think that quietness and as a silence, magnum silencium is the best option for them. Because if you do, we have every document to appear before SHRAG, to appear before special prosecutor, for Ghanaians to know say indeed what is happening under CocoBOD. Me say TUC chairman, friend say.
TUC Secretary General.
Your friend say.
Mumpeni di Trade Union Congress Secretary General.
Mumpeni di
Yes.
Because me who Facebook post be, I am only suspecting that he's the one. Your friend Bernard Usu ana.
No, yeah, Bernard Usu.
Bernard Usu.
Sure.
Let me read what he has said.
That is if he is the one.
He is the one.
Or there can be a coincidence.
Me pa chomu in the Facebook post no.
Let me check. Me body di wa ha.
There's a Facebook post that Bernard Owusu has made, or say, comrades, Ghanaians, comrades, we will not accept salary cuts because of declining world cocoa prices. The CocoBOD worker did not set international cocoa prices.
Yes.
The CocoBOD worker does not control the global market. The CocoBOD worker is not responsible for economic mismanagement. Emphasis my economic mismanagement. This is Bernard Owusu. This is not a convincent.
Yeah, but
this is not the director.
Your point, no, CocoBOD workers, nankasa senior staff, no, issue a similar statement.
Yes.
Rejecting the decision to reduce almost salaries. No, it don't know rejected that.
Absolutely.
Almost they were not consulted.
Yes, but you see, the MD Wahane say it is not the MPP. It is not Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia. It is not the communications director of the MPP who is saying that there exists something we call economic mismanagement. This is Bernard Owusu. I am not the one. We have said time without number that the economy that is managed well cannot come back and say we cannot pay cocoa farmers. Cannot say that they will not be shock absorbers for their cocoa farmers. One of the reasons that I will even come here after I come here next week or next 2 weeks is how our petroleum funds has been invested. How petroleum funds has been invested from 2011 when the act was passed. You see our heritage fund.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, well, this other fund, what's the name?
And your heritage and
how can I forget this one? The other fund. You go me. Petroleum funds you go me.
I retired as your teacher long ago. Can't teach you now.
You know
on your own.
That fund, has been made. Maybe I will remember. Has been established for purposes of future support.
Yes.
In the event that there is a force majeure or whatsoever, until the monies are supposed to be readily available in the fund. When we are investing in the fund, you invest in a say. Or invest in short-term investment.
Yes.
Treasury bills be an 91 day, 30 days or something. A buying way through Dr. Yao or assistant technical advisor, finance minister. And Tio Champong was the one who came to my committee to come and present to my committee, that is the economy committee, that now they are not going to invest our petroleum funds by way of the short-term investment that we have been doing since 2011, because the funds are supposed to be readily available anytime that we need it. Energy sector, that the returns can be 10 years, 15 years. The government cannot use the petroleum funds as shock absorbers for the state, for the people of Ghana. So when there is any force majeure, all the amount of monies that are supposed to be paid by Ghanaians, Ghanaians will have to go through that difficulty. Stabilization fund. The stabilization fund. And then stabilization fund, what John Dramani Mahama and Crawford say, stabilization fund, and then the amount of short-term investment, IPPs in the car, and nobody call you.
Very well.
I'll come back to that conversation.
We'll get into those details. Into thank you for coming.